Thanks for all of you for being here today. Off the top, I'd like to say that we've had a very strong Stampede, and we're hoping to finish it off today with a great final day. When I think back to the start of the Stampede and the parade back on July 3rd, which actually seems a little bit more than 10 days ago now, but it was led by Kaylee Humphreys in a picture-perfect day and with large crowds. And since then, we've certainly had a few weather issues. We had that significant hailstorm on the first Saturday. We had some rain on Monday night. Again, of course, today we're hoping it still clears off in time to have another great finale day. But other than that, the weather has been terrific all week. It's been very hot, it's been very sunny, very great for stampeding. Even with the few weather incidents we've had, and with just a reasonable day today, we'll end up with attendance of just over or just under 1.2 million. And if you told me that this spring in this Calgary economy that we would get close to 1.2 million in attendance, I would have told you then, and I'm telling you today that I'm very ecstatic about that. It's a great result. And I think what it shows is that clearly gathering and celebrating Stampede, either at our park or in your own communities, remains very important to Calgary and all of southern Alberta. We are a not-for-profit organization, and the 10 days is certainly our big fundraiser for the year. And it helps fund our agriculture, education, and youth programs, as well as the many facilities and venues here on Stampede Park. So ticket sales are important, and we did have very strong ticket sales in our iconic rodeo and our evening show with many, many sellouts. But ticket sales are not our only measure of success. Just as important for us is the quality of our guest experiences and the progress in advancing our mission of bridging urban and rural audiences. And I actually think the entertainment on Park this year was the best that I have ever seen. We had a new improved Nashville North with the addition of an outdoor patio and this Stoli Lounge, which has been a great hit. The Cirque show in the Corral was a hard ticket to get all week and had performed to great reviews. Coke Stage had another terrific lineup and large crowds all week. We had the Super Dogs back in the Big Four, and we also had a large reptile show in the Big Four, but you're going to have to ask Warren about that one. Snakes are not my thing for sure. We had the local Etsy designers in our marketplace. We had the very popular Cannonball Lady in the Bell Extreme area, and then just generally the large crowds in the Ag Barns and the Agri and Western Event Center with people enjoying those events. For many of those guests who live in the city of Calgary, it's the only time they ever have the opportunity to enjoy those types of experiences. Personally, I've very much enjoyed the Stampede, but this final Sunday is always my favorite day at Stampede. We crown the champions in rodeo and chucks. We are going to have a closing village in the Indian Village, which is very historic since it's the last year in that village before we moved the Indian Village over to NMAX Park in 2016. And most importantly, I get a chance to walk around and say hello to our employees and staff and volunteers and sponsors for all they've done this year and thank them for all their great services. And then we close the show with our evening show tonight, which has received fabulous reviews from almost everyone. So I think I'll just wrap up there, and I'm going to turn it over to Warren, who's going to address you briefly as well.
Thanks, Bill, and I would absolutely mimic and support every one of his comments. I think this has been a wonderful Stampede. I think Calgarians have come out and celebrated. I think they've celebrated in spite of an economic downturn, and they've shown the rest of the world that Calgary does elevate their levels and enjoy the Stampede. A couple of quick comments. We are closing the chapter on a few things this year and opening a new chapter. The Stampede was very, very honored to announce that the Stampede Foundation has raised over $130 million towards its capital campaign. That will see a number of projects come out of the ground, starting with NMAX Park next year. We've had 2 very successful years with the Agri and Western Event Center. And so next year we will be opening the doors to a brand new Indian Village in a 16-acre park that Calgarians again will have space to spread out and celebrate. Over and above that, as part of those ceremonies, we will be closing the village for the very last time in its existing location this year. That's a historic moment and one that's filled with celebratory items, and I'm honored to have been asked to close the village after 25 years as the staff liaison to the 5 tribes of Treaty 7. Our sponsors, I think we would have never been able to put out the wonderful show that we had this year if it wasn't for our sponsors. I thank them tremendously. I think that they're the backbone of our organization. They support the volunteers and staff, and we wouldn't have things like all the wonderful programs that Bill just spoke to. We tried a few new things this year. We did have new bike valets that I think was very well received. Over 150 bikes per day were valeted back and forth and looked after. I would say the balloon chair did not end up being the best way to get to the Stampede, but that wasn't one of our programs. Safety. Paramount to the Stampede is the safety of our guests. I'd like to thank the Calgary Police Service from the bottom of our hearts on behalf of the board, the volunteers and staff for all the extra efforts that the Calgary Police Service do every year. We do notice a significant decline in the number of incidents that occur on Stampede Park. Unfortunately, we did have one this year that was unfortunate, but certainly Calgarians continue to feel safe. It is a family event and families come down and participate every day. Safe Stampede, again, the Calgary Stampede supports this. When you put on your cowboy hat, you're elevating your behavior, and we believe that coming to Stampede Park and showing the rest of the world what Western heritage and values is really what the Stampede is all about. Bill and I would be happy to take any questions that you have, and I thank you very much.